Ritchie Torres, more commonly known as AIPAC Demon Spawn, goes on CNN to talk about why the TikTok ban is needed. And let's listen to this clown. I mean, this guy is one of the people who has just sold his soul, so happily sold his soul, and he don't give a single fuck whatsoever. But let's begin this segment. Ritchie Torres is an AIPAC demon spawn, and let's listen to this jackass.
You voted in favor of the TikTok bill today. Explain your thinking to our viewers.
In favor of the TikTok bill.
Millions, if not tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of people who love the app and don't want big government infringing on their right to use it.
Well, the legislation is not about the use of TikTok. It's about foreign ownership of TikTok. ByteDance ownership of TikTok is a threat.
It's not about the use. It is about the use if you're banning it. How can it be used if it's banned? So that is exactly what it's about. And then he goes into the core cover story that there's a security concern where they cannot produce any concern. What is the concern? It's just a spooky vibe. Well, it's China. That's it. There's no substantiating that. So I'll let him make the point, but he began to make the point. It's, some scary boogeyman known as China.
Of TikTok. ByteDance ownership of TikTok is a threat to the security of the United States. ByteDance is subject to the control of the Chinese Communist Party. ByteDance owns TikTok. And, TikTok is not merely a social media platform. It is the leading news source for the next generation of Americans. And the fact that we have put the leading news source for the most impressionable minds in our society in the hands of our leading foreign adversary, the Chinese Communist Party, is an act of self-sabotage. That would have been the equivalent of allowing a Soviet company to control ABC, NBC, and CBS during the height of the Cold War, which would have...
What? ABC? No. What is he? So he comes in with a completely establishment talking point that has not been substantiated. It's just accusations. And then he makes a comparison that's apples and oranges because he names actual news platforms where their job is news. That is their job. And he's saying that being ran by a foreign entity. That is absurd. This is a social media app where people share news peer to peer. That's how they get it. They're not getting it from an original broadcast from TikTok. So even in a comparison, he's lying. So this is just a slick salesperson who's fine with getting paid. And he's like, I'll tell whatever lie I gotta tell to get paid. I don't give a fuck. Give me the money. Pay me my money. I don't care what I got to say, whatever. That's who he is. That's Ritchie Torres.
Which would have been unimaginable.
What kind of threat do you see happening? What? Give me an example of the kind of thing either you have seen on TikTok, and you suspect it's because the Chinese government has influence, or what you fear.
Well, first, there's a consensus throughout the intelligence community, from the FBI to the CIA, that there is a national security risk with ByteDance control of TikTok. So that's not a...
It's a consensus amongst the liars. Because when they say intelligence agencies, you can literally just substitute intelligence with liars, the liars agency. You're talking about some of the top lying entities on the planet. You mean those people said something without any evidence? Which they haven't, actually.
It's not a matter of dispute within the federal government. I have two concerns. First, there are more than 170 million users on TikTok. The Chinese Communist Party could easily access that data under the national security law in China. ByteDance.
What data? I have a Twitter account. My real name is not there. Nothing there is real. So what are they accessing here? What? Like Nick says, what are they going to access? Cat videos? It's a social media platform. It's not a platform where people are doing things that require divulging social security numbers and addresses. That's not done on TikTok. So what information are they getting? Or can they get is the question.
ByteDance would have no choice but to cooperate with the Chinese Communist Party. And then second, TikTok could be a tool for information warfare. China could easily use TikTok to conduct foreign influence operations against the United States. So both data privacy, data security, and information warfare are causes for concern.
So he prepared all of his talking points. Now, since Jake Tapper's not a real journalist, this could easily be swatted down by anybody who's been doing journalism for 12 months, who just knows superficially stories. This could easily be just slapped down what he's saying, but that's not Jake Tapper's job.
We just heard from CNN's Mark Stewart from Beijing. He says the Chinese government is accusing the United States of acting like a bully. What's your reaction?
I mean, there's no greater bully than the Chinese Communist Party. I mean, it consistently coerces and intimidates and bullies American companies based in China. And the Chinese Communist Party would never allow the United States to control the leading media platform in China.
No, it's not the leading media platform in China. It's the leading, in the United States. It's the leading media platform in China that American users use. You can't be upset that Americans like this Chinese app and platform better than American bred platforms. You can't be mad at that. Make the platform better. And you can't make it better with U.S. censorship. So I don't know how a guy at his age, because he should be more in line with people who are under 30, 35, under 40. He should have views, and his views are so Pete Buttigieg. They're so like geriatric. His views are so geriatric for his age. It's so bizarre.
TikTok used the app to encourage users to contact their lawmakers and tell them to vote against the legislation. Did you get a lot of calls and messages?
Look, every congressional office was flooded with calls, but TikTok,
and they don't care.
Lies. It is spreading misinformation,
and they don't care. That's a great democracy. That's not responsive to their constituents. That's awesome. Where can we get some of that democracy? Ritchie Torres is disgusting. Let's let him finish out. 15 seconds here.
The legislation is not a ban on TikTok.
It is, you damn liar.
Under the legislation, TikTok will have the ability to continue to operate. TikTok users will have the ability.
They don't want to sell
and express.
They don't want to sell.
This is not about content. This is about foreign ownership of TikTok.
So, all right. So that is Ritchie Torres, the garbage piece of you know what that he is. Everybody hates this guy.